Benny the bunny hopped happily through the forest. The sun warmed his brown fur. He was on his way to meet his best friend, Robbie the raccoon.
Let's play hide and seek.
Robbie was waiting by the stream, his black mask bright against the green leaves. Benny giggled and wriggled his nose. The two friends played until the sun was high in the sky. They stumbled upon something they had never seen before. It was a fence made of shiny metal. The fence went all the way around a small building.
What is this place?
Benny whispered, his nose twitching. Robbie, ever the brave one, crept closer. He peeked through a gap in the fence.
Let's go inside.
Robbie exclaimed, his eyes sparkling with adventure. Benny was hesitant, but Robbie's enthusiasm was contagious. Together they squeezed under a loose part of the fence and entered the mysterious area. Inside, everything was metal and strange. There were blinking lights and buttons everywhere. Robbie tapped a button with his paw. A loud siren blared, making Benny jump. Suddenly, two men in green uniforms appeared. They had serious faces and were holding nets.
We've got intruders.
Benny and Robbie knew they were in trouble. They had wandered into a place they shouldn't have. They hopped and scurried, trying to escape the men and their nets. But the men were too quick. Benny found himself trapped in a net, unable to move. He kicked his legs, but it was no use. Robbie, caught in another net, struggled beside him. The men carried them inside the building. Benny's heart pounded like a drum. What were they going to do with them? The men put Benny and Robbie in a large cage made of metal bars.
We'll run tests on them in the morning.
Benny felt a shiver run down his spine. He had to get out of there. He looked at Robbie, who was chewing on the metal bars.
We need a plan.
Benny whispered. Robbie stopped chewing and looked thoughtful.
I have an idea. We can use that to escape.
Working together, they used their noses and paws to push the tray towards the cage door. The tray hit the door with a bang, knocking the latch loose. The door swung open. Benny and Robbie didn't waste any time. They scurried out of the cage and ran towards the exit, their hearts racing with hope and fear. Benny and Robbie raced through the forest as fast as their legs could carry them. They had to get away from the scary base and the men with their nets. Suddenly they bumped into something large and warm. It was Farmer John, his overalls covered in straw.
Well, what do we have here? Two little critters on my land.
Farmer John reached out to grab them. Benny and Robbie dodged his grasp just in time. They knew they couldn't let him catch them. They scurried through the tall grass, Farmer John hot on their heels. Finally, they saw Benny's burrow under the old oak tree. They dived inside, safe at last. Benny's mother was just setting the table for supper. She was relieved to see them.
Where have you two been?
She asked, her whiskers twitching with worry. Benny and Robbie looked at each other and smiled. They had so much to tell her, but that was a story for another time. For now, they were just happy to be home safe.